How can you show that DCF allegations against you are false in Massachusetts? The allegations come in all types of sizes, shapes, and sounds. And you just can't go and say, well, that's a false allegation. Well, it may be, you gotta back it up. You gotta give credible information and evidence that shows that you're saying that it's X, Y, and Z, and DCF is saying that it's A, B, and C. You gotta change the conclusion. And how do you do that? With evidence. And getting the evidence sometimes can be a pain in the neck, and it takes some digging, but in the end, it's worth doing. And you gotta give DCF the right information. They wanna do well by you and your children. You gotta give them the information though. And sometimes I see clients don't give them the information. And why is that? Because they don't know what they're doing. And why is that? Because they've never been up against DCF with false allegations. And it's different, distinct, separate, apart from anything else they've ever been involved with. And it's hard. It's not to be ashamed of that you don't know what you're doing with DCF. They've got a lot of policies, procedures, and protocols. I want to tell a story about a client I had recently who was accused by his ex of smashing a window and doing things untowards her and her children. And this individual was a very hardworking man. And we went back through all his information. And we determined that the date that was being alleged that he had smashed a window where a car was out in the public for well over 12 hours. Anyone could have smashed a window. But more importantly, he had worked the night before, which we got as time cards, that showed that he had worked almost the entire period that her car was outside and was allegedly smashed, for which he was charged with. With that said, not only did we get his time cards to establish his working hours, but we also got his GPS, which showed the route he had traveled, which he had shown to be nowhere near his ex's car or her home. And this was documented because he knew that she was going to file some type of false allegation against him, as she had in the past. And he protected himself by having his time cards and affidavits from his colleagues saying he was in work that night. And that he also had the GPS, which clearly showed that his travel and his route home was nowhere near the town, nor the car, nor the home where mother said this incident took place. Well, needless to say, DCF found the evidence of my client to be credible, to be worthy, and then supported that allegation against him. And my client went home happy, and everybody went home happy. But DCF needed to have the information that was necessary to reach the right and proper and just conclusion.